Procedure on black and white printmaking, contract printing, and photo enlarging. In this video, I will discuss the procedure of contract printing. Step 1. The contact printing. Position the enlarger. Close the slot where the negative color is inserted in the enlarger's head so that the light will shine only the baseboard. Step 2. Set the lens aperture and then larger time. As a trial exposure, set the enlarger lens aperture f11 and the timer to 3 seconds. Do a test trick using a 3 seconds interval. 3. Identify the emulsion sides of the negative in paper. The emulsion side of the negative must face the emulsion side of the paper. A film tends to curl toward its emulsion side, which is duller than the back side. The emulsion side of the paper is shinier and white glossy paper smoother than the back black side. Insert the negatives and one sheet of paper in a printing frame. The paper goes on the bottom emulsion side up. The negatives go above the paper emulsion side down. The glass tab of the frame sandwiches the negative and paper together tightly. If you don't have a printing frame, you can simply put the paper on the enlarger baseboard, the negatives on the top of it, and plain sheet of glass overall. Expose and process the print with the printing frame in the place under the larger head. Push the timer button to turn the larger light on the exposure. The print process the paper after fixing. Evaluate the print. Step 6. Evaluate the print. Some of the frames will be lighter, other dark, depending on the exposure each received. In that camera, the judge print exposure overall. Examine the film edge. In print, this should be black but with the edge number leakable, and with 35 mm fill a very slight difference between the edges and the darker sprocket hole. A procedure of photo enlarging. Place your negative in the larger carrier. The enlarger area is a plastic tray that slides. To put your negative in it, open up the tray and insert the negative into it so that image you want to enlarge is lined up with a square hole tray. Then close the tray and side carrier back into the larger. 2. Clamp the enlarger down over carrier. Clamping down the enlarger will seal the negative inside of the enlarger carrier. The right way to clamp down the enlarger will depend on the photo enlarger. 3. Position a sheet of scrap paper on the projection plane. The projection plane is the flat frame that holds the paper you will be projecting onto. Lift up the lay of the frame. Insert the scrap of piece paper before closing it again. Then place the frame back down on the base of the enlarger. Step 4. Turn up the light in the dark room. Turning the light up will make it easier to see your image projected on the piece of scrap paper. It's also important that you turn the lights off since you will be working with actual photo paper later on. Turn the enlarger on using the timer. The timer is the small box that connected to the enlarger by a cord. To turn the enlarger on, locate on the switch on timer and flip it. After you flip it, the display on the timer should light up. Then press the outlet focus to turn the light bulb inside the enlarger on. Step 6. Adjust the height of the enlarger until the image fits on the scrap paper. There should be a knob on the enlarger near the back or on the side that allow you to raise and lower it when you raise time larger. When you raise time larger, the projected image will get bigger, and when you lower the enlarger, the image will get smaller. 7. Focus the image using the knob on the side of enlarger. When you press enlarger a negative, it will likely to be out of focus. To fix that, turn the knob clockwise or counterclock and until the image look clear. Increase. 8. Set aperture on the enlarger to f8. For most photographs, the aperture setting determines better means how wide the lens opening on the enlarger is. The higher the aperture, the wider the lens, and the light that passes through, the more light passes through, the brighter your image will be. To adjust the aperture, rotate the lens onto the light, enlarger it until you get to f8.